Hello everybody, it is Lambo and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we are going to be talking about school and just how stupid it is. Because why not? I'm a high school graduate, so I'm not actually in school anymore. And so today I'm going to go over just kind of my experiences and just the things about school that I absolutely hated or just didn't make any sense to me. So yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into this. And let's start off with snow. Now, snow with school was one of those things that just never made any sense to me whatsoever. I always hated snow, or not always snow, but just hated the way that snow was handled. So basically, if it snowed too much the previous night during the winter months, then basically what would actually end up happening is school would be closed for the day, and we would have what is called a snow day. Basically, where you get to stay home, there's no school that day, no assignments to be completed unless you got like homework the night before and you didn't have any time to complete it. So then, yeah, you can work on that and get caught up with it. Yeah, it was a great time for everyone. And you could go outside, you could go play in the snow. The only thing is that you really couldn't really go anywhere by car or anything like that because my school had to be one of those schools, the ones that never really shut their doors for anything unless it was like completely snowed in. Then that's when they would finally decide maybe we should shut our doors for the day. Maybe we should actually be smart for once and shut the doors for the day. Maybe it had to be like something big though if it was going to be them closing down. I remember sitting there at my grandma's house, watching the news station, seeing all the names of the schools, passing underneath the screen in the county, and just seeing like 2 hour delay cancellation for all these other schools, and then my school would never be on there. Like it seemed like it was never on there for any reason, and it was just like, come on, again. It always was just so stupid. I always hated that so much. Like they were never actually smart about it. They could never just be. It could never just be like maybe we should shut it down for the day. Nope, it could never be like that. It was so stupid. Unless it was like a really rare occasion where they actually grew a brain cell or two. Like come on. But yeah. But what's even worse though is just what actually ended up happening after the snow day. Because what happened after the snow day, basically, if you actually ended up having a snow day, then what the school would do in response to that is they would put in on the schedule a makeup day. They would deduct a day of your upcoming vacation days and put a makeup day in there. Basically, they put a day of school in place of a day that school was originally supposed to be out for to make up for that day. And this is because of a really stupid law that should really just be repealed, where the schools are actually required to have they're required to have at least 100 and well, not really at least, but they're required to have 180 days of school in the year. And it's a really, really stupid law that still exists today, and it shouldn't exist today. But for some reason, it still does. And I want it repealed. I want it to be gone. I don't know why that's so difficult. But yeah, it's so annoying. It honestly is. It honestly is really, really annoying. And yeah. So like we already don't really get very many vacation days in a school year. Like there are not many vacation days in a school year whatsoever. The only real major vacations we actually get in the school year are for Christmas and spring break, and that's about it. Two major vacations in the school in the entire 180-day school year, which is not very many school vacation days in the year, man. Like there's not very many at all. So, yeah. I always hated them for that. I always hated that they would do that to us, and just make us come into school that many days in a year. Like, why does it gotta take so long, too? Like, why does school have to be so long every day? Why 8 hours a day? It's like going into a job for 8 hours a day and not getting paid for it. Like, that is just so annoying to me as well. But, like, back to snow real quick. Today, it's even worse because nowadays, they can't even say that. They don't even give you the full snow day anymore. What they do now, if you have a snow day, basically if you get snowed in again and they can't open their doors because of it, you don't get a snow day. You get a flexible instruction day, or FID day, or as people call them in there, FID days, where you get online assignments on Google Classroom that you are required to complete by the end of that day, and they are for actual credit as well. Some things even on there were actually quiz grades, so you had to do them. And these were not something you could do in like 5 to 10 minutes. These were usually things that would take hours to complete, just like the class would. Are you serious? There was even a time where a teacher posted something on there that was like a 2-hour plus movie that you were supposed to watch for questions. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna skip that one. And every single time we had a FID day, I would always pick like 1 or 2 assignments to skip. Because I never did them all. I never did them all. I would always pick at least like 1 or 2 classes that would be skipped for that day. And it was usually always one of the two. It was either always like a science class, or it was just a math class. Like, those are the 2 major ones I would always try to skip for the FID days. And, you know, it never really impacted my grade very much, so I never really had to worry about it. But, like, man, those are just so stupid, man. There should not be any such thing as a flexible instruction thing. There really should not be there. Like, just give us the snow day. Leave us alone. Give us the actual snow day. Don't just hold it above our heads and say, well, you know what? These are a thing of the past now. We're going to put these FID days in here now and make it so that no one ever has a snow day ever again. Like, that's not acceptable, man. That's not a good idea, and that's not very fair to the students either. The only thing it is just completely ridiculous. That's all it is and all it ever will be. But, yeah. I always hated that so much. But yeah, if the school is watching this video, by the way, get rid of these FID days. They are not helping anyone. I don't know, are you fucking kidding me? You're the one that damaged the car. Should have been there. Shouldn't have spawned there. Fuck you. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to the next thing about the school that really angered me. And that was just the required classes that... Like, how are these classes even required? There are so many classes I took, and then after I took them, I was like, you know, like, why the actual hell did I take these classes? Like, these classes don't make any sense to take. Why did I take them? Why did I do it? It doesn't make any sense. But, yeah. So, let's go over the amount of just required classes that I had to take that never made any sense to me and never really helped me. And let's start off with exploratory French. This class is brought to you from middle school, and I believe I took this in 8th grade. It was either 7th or 8th grade. And, of course, it was a French class. The only thing is that this French class absolutely sucked. So, the teacher there was Mr. Van Soik, and he was one of the worst teachers ever for homework. Seriously, you could bet your friends $5 every day you had French class, because it was only like 2 days a week you had French class, but you could bet your friends $5 every single time you went into that class that you would have homework that night, and by the end of the year, you would probably have $500+ from bets alone. That is how much homework this dude would give out. Hell, even if you bet them a fucking nickel, that you would go in there and have homework every day, you'd still probably have about $500 in nickels by the end of the school year. Like, that is how much homework this dude would give out to people in his class. It was just so ridiculous. And the homework always sucked, too. It was always like these packets and packets and packets. And, oh, it's just stop. Just stop with the packets, dude. The packets need to go. They are not helping anyone. They are not making me learn anything. The only thing I'm learning, dude, the only thing I'm learning from this class right now with your homework is just how much more I should hate you for giving me these stupid assignments. That is the only thing that school ever seems to teach you anymore. It just teaches you how to hate school even more. That's all it teaches you anymore. And this class was a perfect example of that. It absolutely sucked, and I hated the teacher, I hated the assignments, I hated the class, like, concept, I hated everything about it. One of the worst classes I ever took there, and I am really annoyed that I had to take that thing. But another class that I really hated I had to take was biology. This is a 10th grade class, and my girlfriend is actually currently going through this class, and she actually somehow likes it. How she does is beyond me, because I always hated this class. The assignments were, again, non-stop with this class. The homework, non-stop. And this was one of those really big deal classes where, you know, if you didn't pass this class for the marking period, you would actually fail the marking period. And if you failed 2 marking periods, I believe 2 marking periods anyway, then you would actually fail the year and you had to retake it, or you had to go to summer school. So it was one of those really big, like, major subjects they had to take and pass to graduate. That is what this class was, and it just sucked so bad because it was just so useless. Like, what am I ever really in the long run going to use this class for? Sure, there are some things in there that could be fascinating and just interesting to know, but they're not really going to help you with anything in the long run, and that's not the point of school is. The point of school is to learn stuff to help you out in the long run. It's not to be just like, oh, cool, this stuff is so fascinating, man. Mate, that's what online stuff is for. That's what YouTube is for. You can look up videos for it yourself on there and learn all the fascinating stuff. School should have just been about just stuff you need in your life, like money counting and stuff like that. You know, taxes, mortgages, stuff like that, loans. We actually had some classes on those, but they weren't until, like, senior year of high school. So, like, come on, man. There was nothing really there that was really useful up until that point, except for English classes, and those weren't even that really good. And those weren't even really that good after, like, a certain grade level. Because I could already fluently speak English by 4th grade. Like, anyone could fluently speak English by 4th grade. Anyone could write English perfectly fine by 4th grade. I did not need to have English classes until 12th grade. I just didn't need that stuff. I didn't need it for that long. I don't know why I had it for that long. But I, for some reason, did. And it really angered me that way. But another class, and this is probably the worst one, because I had to take not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years of school worth of this garbage class, and that, of course, is algebra. I hate algebra. I hate it so much, it is unbelievable. First, I had to take pre-algebra in 8th grade, then Algebra 1A in 9th grade, then Algebra 1B in 10th grade, and then GTA in 11th grade, which is geometry, trigonometry, and algebra. So I'm still going to count it as an algebra class. Like, come on, dude. How many years of algebra is enough? And the thing is, there would never be any new type of algebra that you would learn in those years. It would literally be the exact same thing that you had learned the previous year. Every single time. I cannot tell you how many times I had to learn the stupid coordinate plane, or, like, just square roots and other stuff like that. Like, stupid stuff that you never are ever really going to need to use for any reason. Like, what exactly am I going to need to know square root for, or the coordinate plane for? I didn't know I was going to go in the future and manufacture scopes for hunting rifles, man. I didn't know I was going to be doing that. What am I going to use this coordinate plane for? Just, what is it? I'm not a city planner. I'm not planning anything with it. Doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to illustrate any freaking connect the dots puzzles for kids either. So if that's what you're thinking of, no, not going to happen. Like, come on, man. Stop with the algae, bruh. It needs to go. It needs to stop. It needs to be an optional class. Like, these classes, man, they absolutely sucked. And they didn't even have to suck either. Like, they did not have to suck this bad. They should have just kept it, like, easy. I don't know why most of these classes were not optional. French should have been optional. Biology should have been optional. If you wanted to take algebra, it should have been optional. All 4 years of it should have been optional. But no. Or they could even say that for like college classes. Like, I don't get why this stuff is in high school. Why? Why? And with math as well, just in general, not even just algebra, but math as well, I feel like they had the worst math apps you could ever find. There are two in particular that I really remember, and those were just the absolute worst of math apps. I want to know what these apps actually were? They were IXL and GMM, or Get More Math. Let's start off with IXL. IXL was by far just the one I hated the most, and we had school issued iPads there, obviously, and because you are FID days and everything, those are done through the school issued iPads, and we don't even really get to keep these iPads after the school is done. Like, we don't even get to keep these things after graduation. We have to give them back to the school. Like, why? Why? I went through 14 years of hell, and I don't even get the iPad out of it. Nope, it has to go back to you idiots who have to go wipe it then, and then give it to another student who's probably just going to end up breaking it anyway. Like, come on. And they're probably going to break it because of this stupid app, IXL. There was at least, I think at least 16 times in a week that I had this app that I was about ready to put my fist through the iPad. I was that pissed off with it. Because let's say so usually, okay, so here's how it works. There's a point system at the top of the app, and then it has the problems and everything at the bottom, like in the middle of the screen where everything can be seen. So basically at the top is like a health bar, pretty much. At the top is like a health bar, kind of like the Ender Dragon's health bar in Minecraft. It's just a big bar that goes across the entire screen. You can easily see it from anywhere. And then next to it there's a number, and that tells you how many points you have out of 100. So there's 100 points you can get. But the teachers would usually make you get like 70, 75, 80, 85, around there points. So if you had like 15 points though, then like if you had 15 points on there, then the questions would not be that difficult, and if you missed one of that score, it would only take away like 2 points. Or maybe like 3 points or something like that. And then if you got another question right after that, it would give you like 7 points. So it would be really good that way. But then when you get to like the higher scores, like if you get to like 70 and you get a question wrong, this freaking thing is going to take away like 15 points from you. And if you get one right after that is done, you get like 3 points back. So you got to do like 5 problems just to get back to where you were. And keep in mind, this is when the problems start to get even harder and harder and harder. So it's almost impossible to climb back up that ladder. And it's just really annoying with that too, because you always feel like, you have this right, and then it just marks it wrong for the dumbest crap. And the thing is, it actually tries to explain to you at the bottom. This is what I find kind of pathetic about this app, too. It tries to explain to you what you did wrong at the bottom of it whenever you get the stuff wrong. And guess what? The explanations don't make any sense. I've actually read reviews online of this app before, and a parent actually said that they had gone through this app on the preschool level just for fun, and they did 2 plus 2, or not 2 plus 2, I think it was 1 plus 1, right? 1 plus 1. They put 2 in for 1 plus 1, and IXL actually marked that wrong and said that the answer was 1. How do you mess that up? Like, that is the app that is being used by the school, people. That is the app. That is the kind of quality that you get from high school Well, not high school, like middle school. That's when I had this thing, middle school. That's the kind of quality you get from American middle school, everyone. You get an app that marks 1+1 as being 1. That is the quality you get right there, guys. That is amazing quality. Well done, IXL, you suck ass. Like, that is so stupid. How do you mess that up? But GMM is arguably just as bad, if not a little bit better. But to me, it was just as bad because it always irritated the hell out of me too. Because one, we would get so many of these at once. It would be ultimately like 3 of these at once, like 3 different assignments with this crap at once. And the way this would actually work is you would have, it would basically be the same thing, at least like the same style anyway. And you would know how many points you had for it as well. There would be a score somewhere on there that would tell you how many points you had before you got it done and everything. Well, except in this case, instead of it being like a health bar at the top, it'd be like all these boxes. Some boxes would have dollar signs in them, and some of them wouldn't. Like it'll be like half and half. And the ones that had the dollar signs in them were the ones that were actually worth any kind of points. And the other ones were not worth points, and they were just more for practice or just getting back up to just understanding the questions. So that at least made some kind of sense there. But the thing is, if you were on a question that you didn't really want to do, then you could go up there and hit another dollar sign and just go to another problem that actually, made more sense to you, or just one that you were more interested in. The only thing is you can only do this a certain amount of times before it locked you on that question that you didn't want to do or didn't understand. And yeah, I always hated that so much. Like, why? Why? Why can I not just go up there, hit a dollar sign every single time, and get my points? I'm still getting points for the assignment, am I not? Like, come on, man. Why? And just one more thing real quick about IXL before I move on to the next topic here, which is actually going to be school lunch. If you asked for help, like, this is how bad the teacher was, too. This teacher sucked. I absolutely hated this teacher because of this, what he would do. Not only would he give out like pages of homework sometimes too, but if you had an IXL assignment, if you needed help with it, he was fine. He was happy to help you. Go up to his desk, he would walk you through it, and then whenever you get the correct fucking answer, he would actually mark the question wrong. He would intentionally get it wrong and set you back that like 15 to 20 points. And he would always say that he was like that he had, quote unquote, had to get it wrong if he helped you. I don't believe that for a second. I think he was just doing it to be a dick. Honestly, I really do think that's how it was. It was basically you as the student getting punished for asking for help from a teacher. That is exactly what that was. Extremely unprofessional and just ridiculous to me. Hated that teacher, but now we're moving on to school lunch. And this is where things get really, really bad. Because this is the kind of stuff that makes school feel like prison for students. Your lunch is served on trays, just like in an actual prison setting. And the school lunch actually seemed to get worse and worse as I went higher and higher in grade levels. Like, I remember back at elementary school, specifically one lunch in particular, and that was the grilled cheese and tomato soup. Back in elementary school, you could not beat this stuff. Elementary school grilled cheese and tomato soup was the absolute best it could be. You would have, like, the most perfectly cooked grilled cheese sandwich, and you would have, like, a really, like, liquefied style tomato soup. But it was like the perfect amount of like tomato soup and water. I don't know how to describe it. It was just some of the best stuff you could ever get. You could not beat it. Could not beat it. Perfect temperature, perfect everything. And then middle school came around. That same lunch, it wasn't nearly as good. The grilled cheese started to feel like it was cooked a little bit too much. Started to feel like it was more microwaved and stuff. Then you get to high school. The I don't know what they were doing in high school. I don't know if they were trying to literally put cheese on a flame grill, but they may as well have been trying to put this cheese on a flame grill. Like a flame grill. And because the majority of the time you pick up one of these sandwiches, it was crispy as hell. Like it was literally as if you were picking up like a burnt French fry out of the fry of like a deep fryer that has been in there for like 15 plus minutes. It was so crispy, and the cheese itself, like the actual cheese, was like black in color. It was so bad. On top of that, they would actually have these salads in there on like because they would have like a hot menu and then a cold menu, or like just like the menu lunch, and then you have like the alternative lunch. There would be like a line for each one, and one line would usually be longer than the other, and that was usually the one to have like the normal school lunch, like the normal school menu lunch. But other days the other one would be way longer because no one wanted the school lunch that day. But for the longest time they had these salads. I specifically like the chicken salads. And these salads were good until they started putting like raw eggs in them. Like these were like hard boiled raw eggs, man. These were cold eggs. And they were just completely disgusting. Like they were in there for God knows how long, and the smell, whenever I opened up these salads with these eggs in them, like the smell sometimes actually almost made me puke, and it made me completely lose my appetite one time. I'm not even joking. I opened up one of their salads one time to eat it. I took the egg out because I never ate the egg. I hated that thing. But I always took it out, and then I started to smell that salad, and it was like the egg was like soaked into the it was just so bad. I literally lost my appetite that day. It was so disgusting. Like disgusting it was. But yeah, I don't know what they were doing with school lunch there, but it was just pathetically bad. But yeah, that's honestly though just how school is today. The stuff like that. It's gone down really, really bad. Like really, really far. And I always hated that. It was very irritating. And on top of that, like, with bullying and stuff, let's talk about that real quick too. They have this app there called Safe to Say. And you can actually still use it even if you're not in the school system. And that's definitely a plus with it. But the thing is that, Safe to Say actually works way better than just telling a teacher. So that's awesome. But sometimes, even with Safe to Say, things wouldn't actually change. Like, there's not enough done about bullying in schools, in my opinion. As of right now, like, it's not good enough. There needs to be more done. Like, Safe to Say is definitely a step in the right direction. It allows for like anonymity, basically just remaining anonymous because these are anonymous tips, and it's that way people aren't getting targeted for it by the bullies, and it's very much more effective because Safe to Say will actually contact that school and let them know about the tip that they received. As far as I know, anyway, I'm pretty sure that's how it actually works. But yeah, overall though, the school is just incredibly stupid with all the stuff I mentioned here. And I'm very much happy to be out of that shitty system. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about it, honestly. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, you already know what to do. But with that being said, this has been Lambo signing out. Have a great day, and happy Labor Day, everyone. And also, really quick before I end this video, I want to thank you guys for getting this channel to a ridiculous amount of subscribers. We are now at 831 subscribers. We are about 200 subscribers away from 1,000. And I cannot believe that. Thank you so much for your support that you guys have given me over these years. It's been a great run so far. I've been on YouTube for 3 years, and I'm still having a great time. So, I appreciate all the support. But yeah, Have a great Labor Day. Hope you all have a great day with your families, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, everyone.